My name is Lucinda, and I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for about 20 years now. My experience with small bowel obstructions started about 4 years ago. I had had cancer 10 years prior to that, had some radiation treatments, and started my first small bowel obstruction about 4 years ago. They were infrequent at first, but then just before I came to Clear Passage, I was having around 3 to 6 a month, so they were getting pretty severe. When I have a small bowel obstruction, it starts with just severe pain, probably the worst pain I've ever felt in my life in that area. Then followed by nausea, vomiting, headache. The vomiting would usually tend to last about 6 to 8 hours. And then a couple of days of, not eating after that and just recuperating from there. So the whole period would be about a 3-day experience each time. I knew bowel obstructions from what I'd seen as a nurse were very painful. I'd heard that before I experienced one, but it really was just life-stopping for me and my family for about 3 days each time. I ended up finding Clear Passage through a physician that I visited in St. Louis, Missouri is where I live. There is a therapist there, started looking into Clear Passage, and then I chose to come to the Gainesville location for treatment. When I first came to treatment, I really didn't know what to expect, and to be honest, I'm a healthcare professional. I was very skeptical. So when I got here, though, the staff made me feel very comfortable. My body, when I got here, I would say felt, not that I even knew it, but after treatment I knew it, just felt my stomach was pretty rigid, felt very hard, and just not pliable or soft at all until after I completed the 20 hours of treatment. Then I realized how soft my stomach was then compared to what it had been before. I would say treatment at Clear Passage completely changed my life and even the life of my family. The stomach problems, the bowel obstructions had become definitely, they were altering my way of life and my family's way of life. I would be in bed for around 3 days with each one. I'd learned to manage them at home and not go to the hospital. But it's just given me a freedom. And before I came to Clear Passage, there was a point over about the period of 5 months where I really was even afraid to eat. I had gotten to where I really was eating very little, and I was scared to eat and scared to do things, scared to go on vacations. Every time I would take a trip, it was that fear of, am I going to have a bowel obstruction and ruin the trip for myself and my family? One thing that I really like about Clear Passage is you really are part of the team here. The therapists are really great to ask you what you would like worked on, include you. Are you having any feelings of, an area? And they just really are great about asking for your input and then listening to that input and including you as part of the treatment team. Leaving Clear Passage, I had so much more knowledge of bowel obstructions and things that I can do to help, nutrition, diet. I just got so much education while I was here, so left with a lot of knowledge. So part of what you get when you come to Clear Passage is some tools so that you can do home therapy when you get home. And they also teach you and instruct you on how to do that home therapy. And as a returning patient now, I can say that I've kept up with the home therapy program pretty well. I'm hoping to obviously do more when I get back home, but I've had just experienced great results with the tools, and then also with the education on how to use those daily. I've experienced great results with that. Before I came to Clear Passage, I was obstructing about 3 to 6 times a month. After coming to Clear Passage, it's been 9 months since my first 20 hours of treatment, and I have obstructed only one time. When I did obstruct the one time, I was actually able to pinpoint the reasons why from the education that they had given me at Clear Passage, and as well, I was able to handle that at home myself. I would say to someone who is having small bowel obstructions like I was, I would 100% recommend Clear Passage, and that comes from my heart. Like I said before, I was skeptical, before coming as well. It completely has changed my life and the life of my family.